Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is going to be absolutely bonkers, and today what I'm going to talk about is the $108 billion so far that homeowners have lost in 2023. So I'm going to go over that article today, you guys. I'm also going to go over some updated information from Fred that's showing us that the reality is that house prices right now are actually still going down. So I'm going to reference that chart, and I'm also going to show you guys that finally new home prices, the median home sales price for new homes is now under resale homes, which is incredibly important to understand because the prices of new homes leads the housing market. So that's what we'll cover today. I hope you're proud of me. Finishing out the month at the park, East End Park here. I had to do the emergency video for Vital Signs about the economy. He made a comment, Travis, the housing market crash is canceled because there's positive GDP. So I had to get with some people that knew about the economy, and we did that video. But honestly, guys, I'm super proud of myself ending out this month out here in the park. It's been especially hard not talking to you guys and referencing the graphs because so much is happening right now in our favor. For example, within the last 72 hours, new home prices in Texas have been slashed almost across the board. Plus, we have a new report from Redfin showing additional median sales price decline, and obviously we've been following the 4-week average. Everyone knows that, and on top of that, inventory is going up. So there is a lot to report on, and these numbers and these trends are only going to get better and better and better throughout this year. Having said that, I still wanted to come out here, take you guys outside, do a walk and talk, and check out what I got, you guys. Finally got the scooter. See that? Finally got the electric scooter. So I'm going to try to take you guys all the way to the lake this time without my GoPro dying on the electric scooter. Now, before I hop on this scooter, let me tell you the name of the article we're going to read today. It's from the Daily Mail entitled, "Inside the Negative Equity Time Bomb, U.S. Homeowners Lost $108.4 billion in equity this year, leaving more than 200,000 at risk of going underwater if property prices fall another 5%. I think this article is going to do a really good job at really kind of explaining why negative equity loss and basically being trapped upside down in your house with an inability to sell, why that's such a big problem. I really appreciate this piece because basically they're not going to sweep it under the rug. I'm going to hop on this electric scooter and I'm going to try to get us, like I said, you guys, to that lake. I'm going to turn off my gimbal and kind of hold this because I don't want to get hurt. So let's see how we do here. Not too bad. But let me throw up a chart real quick, guys, as I try to figure out how to ride this thing and not fall. So I want to show you guys the recently updated median sales price for all homes sold in the United States. Now this is updated on a quarterly basis. And what we see here, guys, is we actually see median sales price down and not up. Now, when we add prices, median sales price for new homes, when we add it to this, we get this loss here. So we're adding basically new homes plus resale homes, and we're showing over a $63,000 decline from peak. And this again, you guys, is overall home sales prices. Now that amounts to 13.2% drop in equity. So raise your hand if you think in Q3 of this year, we'll finally get my own personal definition of a crash, which is a bare minimum of 15% drop in value from peak. You know, we may get that from a median sales price standpoint, Q3 of this year. That's absolutely astonishing, considering in the media and on YouTube with many real estate channels, and the fear mongering from these realtors is obviously, you know, buy now. Are you going to miss out? And home value is only going to go up. When the reality is, we now have the data that basically shows this is not sustainable. So again, you guys, that chart should be super eye-opening. How you doing, brother? Good, man. Trying not to fall. All right, you guys, I'm going over this bridge. This is much harder. This is much harder than I thought. So I'm going to walk it on this bridge right now. This is absolutely brutal. I find it very interesting that when we look at it from a quarter over quarter basis, you know, that's a clear indication a value decline. And I understand it's only prices, but remember this, we just got through spring home buying season and we're almost done with summer home buying season. We also have some additional information that's basically showing us that new home median sales price is now under resale sales price. The reason that's so important is because that's going to spread to other houses in the resale market. The reality is, you know, these resale homeowners cannot compete with new home builders. And the fact that they can't compete with new home builders means it's going to be harder and harder for them to sell houses, obviously, depending on the inventory, right? So let me kind of walk this real quick. As I'm walking the scooter down this bridge, because I don't want to fly off of it and break my skull, let me throw up this article real quick before we get into the one about $180 billion equity loss. As you can see here, prices of new homes drop below prices of used homes for the first time since 2005. Builders have to build and sell homes no matter what the market condition. More price cuts may be needed to get moving. And that's exactly the reality. People say, where's the inventory gonna come? Where's the distressed sales gonna come? Well, obviously, divorce, job relocation, to the best of my ability, those forced sales is probably gonna be anywhere from 1 million to 1.5 listings. But when we add the new sales and new construction into that mix, that's a lot more distressed sales. And what do we know about new construction right now? The amount of inventory they have is representation of a buyer's market, and the amount of homes that are under construction currently are sky high. And let me read the bottom of this real quick. The median sales price of new single-family houses sold in June dipped to $415,400. And you guys, as you can see here, that's down by 16% from peak. So right now, based on my own definition of a house price crash, we're already exceeding that in new home construction as far as median sales price. And I want you guys to really think about the importance of that, considering, again, we're not even done with summer home buying season, and they brought back really insane buying incentives. I mean, if you look at the interest rates that Lennar was offering, being some of them were 4.25%, 30-year fixed, you know, they've basically etched out a section of the market. If you buy a new home compared to a used home based on a 4.25, 30-year fixed, that payment difference just per month, just interest, could be $600. I'm out here struggling. I almost fell off. I had to reset up my audio. I took my GoPro off the gimbal. I had some people that were gonna talk about their opinions in the housing market. But remember, you guys, I'm trying to get you to what's called the outer point. We're almost here. You guys can see it. And when we get there, I'm gonna go into more detail about the $108 billion loss. And we'll really dig into that. But this place is kind of special to me. This is actually where I proposed to my wife. And it's been a long time since I've been here. So what I'm gonna try to do again is I'm gonna get back on this scooter, and I am going to carefully attempt to go down this path in front of me and not fall while still recording. And I'm not even sure anymore if my audio is working, but we're gonna go for it, y'all. This scooter, you guys, is so cool. I can get here without melting from the humidity and the heat from Texas. So this is actually super cool. I understand people's argument of supply and demand. Look at this, guys. Look how awesome this is. Really amazing. I understand people's argument with supply and demand. It's a valid thing, right? We do need supply. But the thing is, guys, we're not in some vacuum. It's not like the equity run-up was built on fundamentals and sustainability. And if we're going to be realistic, we can say that a lot of this equity buildup is based on reckless purchasing and reckless emotion called fear of missing out. So when we add fear of missing out to these fundamentals, it's easier to understand. Maybe we don't just necessarily only need supply for us to continue to have price decline. Let me throw up a little bit of this article right now, and I'm going to start reading some of this for you. Now, this article was made by Helena Kelly on July 27th. Now, there's a few bullet points here. The average U.S. homeowner saw home equity drop of $5,400 in the first quarter of 2023. A lot of people don't think that's a big deal, but that's pretty much an entire stimulus check that's gone off of their house. Now, realtors say they are now seeing more homeowners in negative equity. Obviously, I've been saying that this whole time. It comes after mortgage rates reached an 8-month high of 6.81%. Now, homeowners are sitting on a negative equity time bomb after losing $108 billion on their property values this year, experts say. Now, one thing we know is home prices declined at an uneven distribution, basically meaning that some metro areas like Austin, Phoenix, Las Vegas, Oakland, San Francisco, massive property price decline. And I'm hoping that we look at that situation as a cautionary tale of probably what's going to continue to happen throughout the year. Now, what was the hang up this year? Why are so many people confused? And I believe predominantly the reason so many people are confused is because the recession didn't start. The recession, basically the can was kicked down the curve. I think when we ask ourselves why and what happened, why was the projection, the timeline not accurate, I think it really boils down to a few things, but a primary reason was the bank bailout of 2023. And as of this date, we actually have 4 bank failures, kind of 5 if we count PacWest, but if we don't count them, we have 4 bank failures. So there's still a lot going on. Again, we're still in the midst of quantitative tightening, which means the Federal Reserve is still hiking rates and kind of crippling the finance system right now. Now, obviously, the slosh report is going to come out Monday. I'll probably end up doing an actual report on that. Happy Monday to you guys. I forgot to mention, and also you guys for all of this work. If you can, don't forget, like the video and share this video. It helps me. Make a comment. Let me know you guys want me to continue to come outside and continue to report on these things. But back into the article, let's read some more. If prices tumble by 5% more, then 200 more households could be at risk of falling into negative equity, otherwise known as going underwater on their home loans. But again, when we add the 8% it takes to sell the house, how many houses are really upside down? When we add the 8%, we can add an additional 200,000 houses plus whatever the difference is between 5 and 8%. So there's a lot more houses that are actually upside down than this article is reporting about. Negative equity occurs when an individual's outstanding mortgage balance is more than the value of their property. In a strong market, homes should appreciate in value over time, meaning borrowers have little risk of falling into negative equity. However, when prices start to fall and interest rates rise, those with small down payment are at greatest risk of going underwater. And that's the problem with those down payment assistance programs I've been telling you guys about. Falling into negative equity can make it difficult to sell or refinance a home, leaving many feeling trapped in their property. The issue exploded into a crisis during the 2008 financial crash when home prices plummeted overnight. And that was another big reason for the crash. One of the primary reasons is people stopped paying their mortgage, led to foreclosure, but ultimately they can no longer afford their payments. Default. One of the reasons why it all led to foreclosure is people could not sell their house because they had no value in it. If you have no value and you want to sell your house, or you have to sell your house and you don't want to go into foreclosure, you got to come to the table with money. So for example, with my foreclosure, if I wanted to sell my house back in 2009, I would have probably had to bring over $200,000 to the table. It was really hard to do, especially because I had no income. I had lost my job. My job was in mortgage. And on top of that, I shortly after had to file bankruptcy because I was drowning in debt. I want people to be aware of the risk and possibility of future challenges. And why? Why would I want that? So people can prepare accordingly and don't get swept up in a foreclosure or negative equity or any of the stuff that I went through in 2009, which ultimately, because I lost hope, led to 9 years of financial and mental hell. This negative equity decline is in the face of home buying seasonality. That shouldn't be there. Home prices shouldn't decline. It's a warning sign, y'all. To me, it's like caution. Homework is really important right now, right? Not using our emotions to go purchase a house, using the data and using a quality professional. Even if you do want to purchase right now, within about 72 hours of me filming this, home price cuts across the board, almost everywhere in Texas, minus Dallas for some reason. Inventory skyrocketing. The Redfin reports are doing exactly what I was hoping they would show, which was median sales price, 4-week rolling average, everyone knows, going down. So we have a lot of positive things. However, I wanted to get out here to just remind myself and hopefully remind some of you how important our lives are, regardless if we're renting or owning. And even if you did purchase, say you did purchase at the peak, you're struggling with unaffordability, there's still things you could do about it. And loan modification is always an option if you are struggling. The unfortunate thing about loan modification is it typically destroys your credit for about 4 years. So just because loan modification is an option, we shouldn't think that it's not going to hurt us. Loan modification is going to help keep us in our house at the cost of credit worthiness. We haven't even started a recession, and we haven't even seen credit tightening hit the market yet. Right now, everyone's in this honeymoon phase where the market's okay. It's this last ditch rally, dead cat bounce, hurrah. That's over. We can see it in the data. Everything is shifting again, at least again, on average. If we want to be technical, real estate is about location, obviously, and I go hyper local when I do my market analysis, obviously going into the subdivision. Either way, your purchasing power and your decision to purchase is important, and I'm going to be the guy that's going to stay here in the hot seat and say, caution, you can take your time. It's okay if you don't want to buy right now. Things are unaffordable. If you want to wait, wait. But if you are going to wait, increase your purchasing power and become an expert. You don't have to rush this. Renting does not make you a bad person. Overall, I think it was great that we finished outside. Other than that, if you're out there investing in real estate, you know I wish you luck, and I hope you win.